Every story has a beginning, but the story of Ramayan begins with a man who had forgotten his own beginning.
You mean Maharshi Valmiki?
Yes, but he wasn't always Maharshi or Valmiki. Once he was Agni Sharma, a Brahmin by birth, a dacoit by choice, and yet destined to become the first poet of the world, the one who gave us our beloved Itihasa.
But Bodha, how did all that happen?
Not many ask that question, Tattva, but the answer? It's a story filled with darkness, realization, and transformation. Do you know the name Valmiki came because he emerged from a Valmikam?
A Valmikam? What's that?
Valmikam means an anthill. The very first time someone asked about Valmiki, as mentioned in the Skanda Puranam, was Vyasa Maharshi. He asked Sanat Kumara, who was Valmiki? What gave him the knowledge to write the Ramayana? Sanat Kumara told him that once upon a time in ancient Bharat, a couple named Kaushik and Sumati had a son. They named him Agni Sharma. His father tried teaching him the Vedas, but Agni Sharma just couldn't understand them. He lacked the sattvic nature a Brahmin was supposed to embody. Some years later, as Agni Sharma grew into a young man, a severe drought hit the kingdom.
A test of survival.
Exactly. With no one offering bhiksha, Agni Sharma took his wife, children, and aged parents deep into the forest, built a forest hut, and started living there. With no knowledge of scriptures and with hunger clawing at his family, he joined a gang of dacoits.
The future sage once a looter?
Yeah, along with his gang, he would rob, threaten, and loot innocent travelers. One day, the Saptarishis passed through that forest. Agni Sharma blocked their way and threatened them to give him the valuables that they had. One of the Saptarishis, Atri Maharshi, asked him, "Son, why are you doing all this?" Agni Sharma told him that he was doing all that to feed his family. Atri Maharshi looked at him and asked, "You're doing all this for your family, right? Will your family share the burden of your sins?" The question shook Agni Sharma.
Did he go to his family and ask?
Yes, he requested the rishis to stay and ran back to his hut. He asked every member of his family, his father, his mother, his wife, and even his children, and they all said, "Feeding us is your responsibility. How you do it is not our concern."
Poor soul, that must have hurt a lot.
It did, deeply. The very people he sent for wouldn't even share a drop of his karma. Now all he had was the imprint of the sins he had committed.
I feel so bad for him, Bodha. What did he do next?
He rushed back to the Saptarishis, fell at their feet and begged, "Show me the way, please." The sages turned to Atri Maharshi. After all, his words had sparked the change. Atri Maharshi didn't give him a mantra. He taught him Dhyanam. Agni Sharma began meditating, deep, silent, unbroken, for years. Irrespective of day or night or the weather conditions, he was deep into Dhyanam. In the due course of time, a large anthill formed around him. 13 years passed. The Saptarishis passed by the same path again, and there they saw a glowing aura rising from a massive anthill. Agni Sharma was still inside, lost in Dhyanam. They were stunned by the transformation. They named him Valmiki, the one who emerged from a Valmika, an anthill.
From looter to a sage. That's powerful.
Valmiki came out and fell at their feet. Asked them, "What should I do next, Maharshi?" The Saptarishis taught him the Panchakshari mantram and told him to go north to continue his sadhana. He went to Kushasthali and meditated upon Lord Shiva. He received a boon that his name would live on forever, that he would gain eternal fame.
When did he start writing Ramayana? Was he a contemporary of Sri Ram?
He was indeed a contemporary. By the time he had begun writing, Sri Rama had already defeated Ravana, ruled Ayodhya, and Sita Ma was already in his ashram when Lava and Kush were born, and had grown old enough to learn.
What? Really?
One day, as Maharshi Valmiki was meditating, Narada Maharshi came to visit him in his ashram. Valmiki respectfully welcomed him, washed his feet, and offered fruits and water. He then asked Narada, "O divine sage, is there anyone alive today who is virtuous, brave, righteous, grateful, truthful, firm in vows, of good conduct, kind to all beings, wise, capable, pleasing to look at, self controlled, free of anger, radiant, non envious, and feared by even the gods when angered?
Oof, that was a long list. Did Narada Maharshi have an answer?
You see, Tattva, a question like that doesn't seek an answer. It breathes life into a legend whose footsteps echo through time, whose story is not just heard, but lived, sung, and passed on from soul to soul. That's all for today, folks. In the next episode, let's find out, did a man with so many virtues really walk on this earth?
Was he born divine or did life forge him into a legend?
And could just one answer give birth to a vision so powerful that it would become the first Kavya the world would ever know? Let us find the answers to these questions in the next episode, The Birth of Adi Kavi. Until then, stay tuned to Bodha Hoots for more episodes and more truth about Ramayana, our beloved Itihasa.
Jai Siya Ram.